now! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! Do it now! This is Rasslin Rage! Scream it out loud! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! Do it now! This is Rasslin Rage! Scream it out loud! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
And now it's time for Wrestling Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Bada bing, bada boom. How is everybody doing tonight? First, before I even get started saying anything else, I want to say thank you to everybody that is watching this live. If you're not watching this live and you're catching it on the replay, thank you for watching the replay. If you're listening on Podbean later on down the road, thank you for downloading and listening. I am joined by old school Ric Caurdiea. I'm going to ask him a few questions here in a moment, but before I do that, I want to give a big shout out to BCWA and Happy Harper Ice Cream. Thank you for being sponsors. I'd also like to give a shout out to Josh's sponsor, the 24 Karat Lion, Jeremiah Goldmain. Please follow Rasslin Rage on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Rasslin Rage, or you can scroll down into the description to find those links. You can also find our Rasslin Rage t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. You go to prowrestlingtees.com/Rasslin Rage with an R, and you will go right to our site. Please, if you haven't already, smash the thumbs up and subscribe, because that's how you're going to find out all the awesome content, you know, like Indie Idol that's coming, which is pretty good stuff, right? And then all the episodes of Rasslin Rage and MI Dub. So, Ric Caurdiea, my man, how are you doing today?
Doing good, surviving, hoping everything gets back to normal here. We get some shows going.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that kind of sucks about right now is we're under... It's not technically a lockdown. It's a whatever, and we're not allowed to have so many people in it within in so square footage, whatever. So we're not allowed to have wrestling basically, which sucks. Things are. I hear February 1st we're getting a little bit more open, but we're not quite all the way there yet. What have you been doing during this time off here?
Well, really, I've been concentrating on kind of family life at home and started doing some different work, trying to make money during these times because my household was totally wrapped up in the food industry and bars and restaurants. So
oh man,
the shutdowns have hurt.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that would really suck, man. So you obviously you have a shoot job and and you said it's in the restaurant industry. How has that affected you personally?
It just having the money and we get a little bit worried about bills, but at the same time, I've had more time at home with family, which is nice.
Right, absolutely.
Because I used to run a DJ business for like karaoke and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And my fiance owns a restaurant.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So
you're really hurting, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but let's talk about some brighter things in life.
All right.
Let's talk about pro wrestling a little bit. Tell us a little bit how you got started in professional wrestling.
Oh, sure. I mean, like everyone else, I was, fan growing up, avid WCW fan in my household.
Like you.
Then I'm going to say this February will make 10 years from when I started training.
Oh.
So, and I just happened to meet the right person at a bar one day and talk about wrestling. And I went to a show not knowing it was kind of a, what's the right way to put this, an outlaw, half trained, yard in a building type of show.
Okay. All right. We'll go there.
But, not long after I started like training there and doing camera work and stuff for them, Briar Wellington came in to give some real training. So between like what I was just doing with that promotion and then like 8 months with Briar, it was about a year of training that I started.
Nice. So you trained with Briar, or was he your exclusive trainer, or have you done numerous amounts of trainers?
He was my primary trainer. I mean, I've done seminars, and like when I was already trained, like afterwards, I rolled around every now and then at the House of Truth and got a little bit more advice and stuff.
Right. Oh
But
yeah, that's
Brian was
awesome.
my trainer.
Yeah, that's awesome. As a kid, you said you were a fan, right? So what was because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people would say that, I was watching this and that's when I knew, or I seen this and that's what motivated me or inspired me to become a professional wrestler. Is there one of those moments or something that happened in pro wrestling that motivated you?
I don't know when the exact like I'm gonna do it moment was, but the moment that really hooked me as a fan was just watching WCW right around the time Flair was coming back,
Okay.
and from WWF, and like they were redoing the Horseman. And it was such a big hoopla. It felt like such a happening. And my dad was excited because my dad was a fan. So I think that's kind of what pushed me in. I think just over years of watching it and stuff, maybe when I discovered the indies, I was like, I think I could do this.
Right. I was approached a long time ago about starting training for professional wrestling. I was quite skinnier back in the day, and I'm not a small lad, but at the same time, I never really gave it a thought, and I've been a professional wrestling fan, but there was nothing ever that drove me to do it. I don't know why. Now later on in life, I'm like, God damn, I should have did that. You know what I mean? But so you become a professional wrestler, and as you're breaking into the business, what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, I mean, wrestling can be very cliquey, so trying to get in just in general and getting with the right people can be hard at first and discouraging sometimes.
Right.
And also the place that I started with, that kind of yard with a ring place, a lot of those guys who started doing the Briar training didn't finish, but then try to go out and say, hey, I'm trained and I did this. And obviously for the two, me being one, who actually completed that training, that made it harder because now people are really checking. They don't want to take your word for it.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
man. So you come in and now here you are, I'm seeing you a lot more. I'm really, how do I say this and not try to be rude to myself, but I've only been around indie business now for about 4 years, somewhere in there, roughly 4 years, maybe. I've been exclusively doing Rasslin Rage for 3. I know that. So maybe a year prior to that. And I've seen you a lot now. I see you at a lot of the promotions. I don't make my way up north a lot, but because you're up there a lot too, aren't you?
I have been in a kind of intermediate years. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's changed from before that? Is it just you're grinding now and you're like, let's do this?
Yeah. COVID had a lot to do with it. The downtime during the first lockdown, to the point where I was like, hey, I'm gonna take a chance and contact some people, and maybe if there was anyone we had any issues, any heat with, we clear it up and see what goes from there. And that's what happened. Because I hadn't really been close with Briar for a number of years.
Right.
We kind of made amends, and I started with Horseslam, and then that spread from there. Plus, I think the first time back down this area was the Dread Queen show.
Yeah,
and
I was there.
Yeah, big shout out, because the reason I was really on that show was because of Logan. He made sure I had a spot.
That's awesome. So you come in, you have these challenges coming in, and everybody's got some type of challenge when they're coming up, and it doesn't matter if it's pro wrestling or anything for that matter. But as you come in and now you're finding your groove, are you finding that now that you're in and you're in the groove, is there new challenges?
I think now the challenges is just once you kind of got hot or got to the top of a couple of promotions like the ones up north, can you do it again? And you're working with new people. It's one thing when you've worked with kind of the same rosters for 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it may be, and then you come into an area where it's pretty much almost totally different guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the House of Truth is slinging them guys out like crazy, man. I mean, they're not just shelling them out or anything. They're going through training, but they're very, very active. The House of Truth is. I mean, every time I see graduating class pictures, there's 7-8 guys in there. So, I mean, you got 7-8 new guys every session looking for work in this area, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a vast majority of guys that these promotions can pick from. And down here, there's quite a few promotions, compared to up north.
Yeah. I mean, I love all the promotions down here in the Detroit downriver area. Is it maybe a little oversaturated? Perhaps, but at least there's opportunity for guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some ring time in. You know, I'm not like really good friends with him, but I do know Cody Hawk, and he runs Future Great Wrestling out of Hamilton, Ohio, and they're running every Friday night, and they're doing very well for themselves. They're one of the only promotions in the state of Ohio that is currently running right now because of the COVID restrictions. You talk about oversaturation, right? So, I'm not saying, because whatever Cody's doing is working, but do you think something like that could work here in the state every Friday or every Saturday or something like that?
I think that there's absolutely a chance for that. What I've seen is like the crowd, especially in this like downriver area, the crowd they're hot. They love their wrestling. They follow all the guys. They know what's going on in our professional wrestling careers. They know what's going on in our personal lives. They know all the promotions. And I think that crowd base would easily go to like a weekly or maybe bi-weekly, but like territory format where you're just constantly running.
Yeah. And I like it because you get the House of Truth that are turning out these guys, right? And then that gives them time to start building their skills, because they're, instead of having 2 matches a month, now they get 4 or 5 matches a month. I mean, and even if it's not,
you learn by doing, and
exactly.
The more matches you can get it under your belt, the more you're going to learn, the more comfortable you're going to be, and better performer you're going to be.
Oh, the Dread King was here.
Uh-oh.
But his messages were retracted. I wonder what happened.
He's talking shit.
Yeah, my I have like a thing that moderates on its own, so if I don't approve it, it'll take it away, and I wasn't paying attention, so I apologize for that. So down here, I've seen you in a few promotions. I believe Metro Pro Wrestling All-Stars, also I believe XICW as well. That's
one time.
Well, hey, it's better than no time, right? There's a lot of opportunity around these parts, but what are you looking to do? I mean, obviously you're wanting to wrestle. We know that, right? But like, I hear a lot of guys talk about leaving state, talking about doing other things, right? Getting their names out in other places. What are you looking to do?
Well, I mean, pretty much my whole career, I've already been doing kind of like the Midwest area, a lot of Indiana and Ohio as well. I've done a little bit down in like Tennessee and the Mid-Atlantic too. So, I mean, traveling still I want to keep doing, but now that I've matured in wrestling about 10 years now, and plus getting a little older, it's, setting sights on ultimate goals. And don't think WWE would be in my future, but I realistically would like to take a shot at like a Ring of Honor, an Impact, and NWA.
Not a bad goal to have, man. Not at all. You can't hate a man for doing something like that. Now, so you want to go out, venture out, and do some big time kind of stuff. Let's talk a little off-topic wrestling stuff. I see, are them toys in the background I see there?
Transformers.
You got, and I see a ring and stuff. So are you an exclusive Transformer, or do you collect other toys as well?
These days, Transformers are the main one, but I can't really move the camera right now, but behind me we got Transformers. We got the AEW ring.
Nice.
We got some collectible movie style Ghostbusters, some Star Wars, some Star Trek.
Nice. I like it. A little bit of everything.
We got a little Ric Caurdiea action figure that was custom made.
Nice. I like it. I've got some toys myself. I got wrestling toys. I got some Star Wars stuff put away. I got all kinds of stuff. Have you seen that they released the re-release Motu?
What's up? Re-release what?
He-Man.
Oh,
Masters
yeah.
of the Universe, Motu.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, they've released all that stuff, and I'm wondering, like, if I find the Castle Grayskull, dude, it's on and popping.
Yeah, I like to get some of those. And same thing with the Transformers right now. Hasbro's been reissuing Generation 1.
Oh,
I have been gifted over Christmas and my birthday, which was in January, by my fiance with a bunch of G1 Transformers.
Nice. I like it, man. Is there anything else you collect besides toys?
Comic books.
Comic books. I like it. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to read a lot. I didn't get into it to the hardcore thing where, I'm like, oh, this is the first, time so-and-so was here, or stuff like that. But I have some put away, but they're nothing like woo. What you got a favorite comic book line or hero or what have you?
That doesn't sound pretty basic, but Batman.
Okay, I like that. That was one of my favorites too. I grew up, and I'm not sure how old you are, but I grew up during the DC age when Superman was really popular because of the movies back in the early '80s, and then Batman, Michael Keaton came out, so it was, and then now it's the Marvel thing, right? But
yeah, Marvel took over.
Right, I was always a huge fan of Superman and Batman. Superman when I was a kid. As I grew up, Batman became more of a thing for me, and then even into my adult life, I'm still kind of like, oh. And I'm waiting for someone to take the role as Batman and that can actually, like Michael Keaton, dude. Mm-hmm. Michael Keaton, in my opinion, is the best Batman.
Movie-wise, I think I have to agree. I did like initially Ben Affleck as Batman, but I feel like just the writing in the DC movies just isn't there. Yeah. I feel like he could have been a really good Batman.
Right. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Missed the opportunity, man. There was opportunities there, and he squandered it. Are you a Marvel guy at all, or?
I mean, I'm both. I mean, I love all the MCU movies and stuff, and I got comic books from both sides. Nice. I don't collect as much now as I used to. I got boxes in the basement of comics.
So I forget who it was I had on one night, but we were talking, and we got off topic like we are right now. But we were talking about Star Wars, and you've talked about you got some Star Wars. So I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan myself. The Last Jedi kind of like jabbed me in the heart and ripped it out and stomped all over it, and made me feel a certain type of way. And then I kind of was, Rise of Skywalker. I was kind of all right. I'm moseying back in, but then the Mandalorian happened.
Yeah,
and then once the Mandalorian happened, now I'm all in, dude. I'm just let's go. What's your thoughts on the Mandalorian?
Oh, love it. Me and Angie, we watched, every episode every week as it came out. So we're big with that. And she started buying some Baby Yoda stuff, some Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu. Now that we know his name, right?
Yeah.
Did it drive you? I don't know. I'm a purist. So I'm a Star Wars purist. And it drove me nuts when people called him Baby Yoda. It did. It just drove me nuts for a while. Then I had to kind of let go. Now that we know his name is Grogu. But
yeah, because still there's a lot of people who hadn't watched it. They're like, oh, it's either thought it was like Yoda's kid or Yoda as a baby, and it's like no. It's just the same species.
Yeah, exactly.
You just don't know what the hell the species is called.
I mean, the Mandalorian is probably, in my opinion, is the greatest thing to happen since. And I know people might get mad, but this is just my opinion. But it's the greatest thing to happen since the original trilogy. That's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it.
I think it has the most feel like the original.
Absolutely.
Although
absolutely.
I have to mention, I think Rogue One captured the feel too. I liked Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One was a good movie, but it still isn't. Man, it just doesn't get me. When the end of this season, I was like, "That's it? Are you kidding me? I need more. I need more now." I haven't felt like that with any of the movies. I didn't get to experience 4, 5, and 6 when they came out in the theaters. I did get to experience the other 6, and I never felt like that after any of them.
Nothing. They were just like, no, you can't leave me like that.
Right. And then to watch the cutscene when Boba Fett sits down in the throne and like, dude, it's on. Let's do this, right? I'm very excited. Solo was phenomenal. says Logan.
Yeah, it was okay.
He says I'm a heel, is what he says. Well, I think so. Dread King says he collects titles.
Whoop-de-doo, Basil.
Oh, nice stuff. Nice stuff. It sucks that wrestling isn't happening right now, but we understand. We get it. We're not totally upset, but we are missing it quite a bit. What is it that you're missing besides, obviously getting in the ring and wrestling?
Really the camaraderie, because just in day-to-day life, as you get older and adulting, like I don't necessarily see my boys all the time. It's so wrestling is always that chance to not only go do the show and be in the ring, but it's the hang in the back, it's the talking, sometimes the road trips.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, I get that.
Have a match and then sit down and have a couple beers.
Yeah, that's it's not the same for me because obviously I'm not in the locker room, but there's even with just the fans, right? It's like there's a core group of fans that you see at every show, no matter where it's at, but it's the one place where everybody can let go. It's the one place nobody has to worry about what anybody thinks about them because it's all a show. It's all a good time, and so a lot of people that you wouldn't normally think get along in life, in general life, get along for a wrestling show.
Oh, there's all sorts different types, both in the fans and in the locker room. All different types, all different walks of life, and it's great because wrestling brings everyone together.
Right, and that's a lot of the people that I am friends with now, on a good basis, right, is because of professional wrestling. The Dread King Logan, we're pretty damn good friends. We talk quite a bit. And Danny and Josh, for instance, I didn't know those guys before wrestling, right, or before indie wrestling. I met them at an indie wrestling show, and now here we are, years later, doing a podcast together. So,
sorry, I was say all my current close friends are people from within the wrestling world and their significant others. Those are my friends. People, the weddings I've stood up in and stuff like that. It's all wrestling people.
And that's great, man. You know what I mean? That's like the brotherhood, I mean, we want to be inclusive here, but it's the thing, right? For sure. Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah Goldmane's in the house. He says, "What up, Cody and Guy MM3 is going to defeat to become the Horror Slam #1 contender for the heavyweight championship."
Not gonna happen. I've been gunning Briar for 10 years.
Oh, good stuff. Jeremiah Goldmane, hello to you, sir. I gave you a shout out earlier. Talk about that, right? You were slated to take on MM3. Am I not? As he's talking about here, what's now? He is part of the Monroe dynasty. He's part of the the name in Michigan. The Monroes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take on him to be the #1 contender. You have to beat him.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, if I want to go with the egotistical way, I can just say I'll put him on my defeated list just like I did RC3.
Oh! Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired.
But, dude, Malcolm's awesome in the ring, man. And I know it's going to be a war in there.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it. He's got the strikes, all the craziness. I'm a tank, though, so we'll go to war.
Right. I really think... Sorry, I'm saying hi to people in the chat. I really think that... I always say this to everybody. And personally, I love MM3. When it comes to him in the ring, fuck that guy. But no, really, he's a great guy. And a great wrestler for that matter too.
Absolutely.
Horror Slam's doing a lot of different things. They got they're the deathmatch thing. They got that niche down here in this state because there's not a lot of deathmatch wrestling in the state, but But there's matches you don't necessarily see at Horror in other, promotions, right? Like, we're not necessarily going to see an MM3 versus Jeff King, or, you know what I'm saying, in other promotions, or a Tommy Vendetta versus anybody that does deathmatch, right? Or a Ric Caurdiea versus MM3. I mean, you're not going to see
like
that
the Mission Crossroads.
Yeah. They're doing something a little bit different over there, for sure. Absolutely. Now, Metro Pro Wrestling, you've been over there a lot, a few times now. I've seen you the past couple shows. They've been there, right?
I've only been there the one time so far.
Okay.
And then things got shut down again.
Right.
Where it was me and Logan and Jay Maynard.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was a brutal one.
That's not a bad one, though. Not a good partners to well, they're good partners to have. Here's something here's Metro Pro. I like the organization, but I feel like they give Jason Page all kinds of just give them to him opportunities. They just give him opportunities, and I really think that people like Dread King Logan should beat the tarnations out of him. I know that he actually has a match coming up when we get back to win a title, but he should take Jason Page's title too. Just saying.
I actually, I wouldn't mind a match with Jason Page. I ran across him first in Indiana for a promotion called EHF. We're both regulars at. In fact, I think he was their heavyweight champion too. Right. And then started to see him in the Michigan scene. That's a match I'd like to get sometime down the line.
I mean, nothing against Jason Page.
No, not at all.
On a real sense, but Metro Pro, bullshit. Anyways. Now, right, yeah, damn it, Bubba. Good stuff. Michigan, once we get back and we're open, I'm hoping we get back before it's summer and we don't have to go back outside. I hope we can have some type of inside normalcy to our...
Well, I have 4 bookings for February right now, so I hope they happen.
Amen to that shit, dude. And I'm looking forward to getting back on the road and heading out and doing Road Rage again and getting some more good content. I'm sitting, and I don't know why I'm not putting them out. Maybe I'm just slow. I don't know, but I have a plethora. That's a big word for me, by the way. Plethora of matches just sitting, and I have not released or put out yet. And it's not because I'm trying to respect, or no, I am not trying. I am respecting other promotions and what they're doing with their stuff. So now that they've released all their stuff, well, go.
Yeah, I get you. Just want to let them get their official copy out first, and then you can use yours.
Yeah, well, and that I've been given. Some people give me guff sometimes, man, and it bugs me sometimes. So, but you got to just kind of brush it off and move on. Brush it on. Now, I didn't get your social media links before and put them down in the bottom, but I'm going to do that. I have the weekend off, so I got nothing but fucking time.
All right.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and put those in. But would you tell the people that are watching this, if they're watching it on the replay or if they're watching it live or listening it on Podbean, could you let them know where they can find you social media wise?
Sure. Facebook, it's Old School Ric Caurdiea - Pro Wrestler. If it's on YouTube, just search Ric Caurdiea. For Instagram, it's at Ric Caurdiea, and for Twitter, it's at, and it's going to be spelled weird, it's CarDeea, like EHHH.
Okay. Somebody else had the name or something?
It goes back to a previous gimmick where I was a greaser.
Oh,
so
okay.
CarDeea.
I like it, man. Maybe I had to bring that back someday, just as like nostalgic. Right, good stuff. So he's got all of his social media, and I'm gonna go back and put that down in the description so you can click on the links. But like he said, search him on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube as well. It's good stuff. Dude, I really look forward to getting back to wrestling, and I really look forward to seeing you at an event, and obviously Metro Pro. We'll be there when it goes back on. I'll also be at TKW, and I'm not sure where else, but who knows? I'll be everywhere. got vacation time now, so that's good. I work too much. That's
Right
part of
on.
the problem. I work too much. My damn cat's over here bugging the shit out of me too. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Make sure that you smash the thumbs up, subscribe, and follow Rasslin Rage and Michigan Independent Weekly. You can find all the links down in the description because you're not going to want to miss Indie Idol 2021. The intros are amazing already. Now it's time to get into the actual promo contest. I'm going to be back on live on Rasslin Rage, or not on Rasslin Rage, but on Facebook very soon to announce the matches. Who's taking on who in this promo contest? Good stuff. Ric Caurdiea, my man, thank you. Can
we give one little shout out here to the fans? Remember, if things go according to plan here in February, check out Pro Wrestling All-Stars show on the 5th. Horror Slam, whenever they have the date announced. They announced the show, but no date yet. There's one more I can say. I can't remember what it is now. Oh, Cyber Pro United, which is going to run another show on the 20th.
The 20th. I like it. 20th of February. I think I'm going to be at that one, too. I was talking to Danny Breaks the other day. We're working some stuff out there, and then I believe Nick's going to come on here soon as well. We're just working out details.
All right. Well, yeah, I just got signed for that one as of yesterday, so I'll be there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I gotta work out some details with Nick and Danny there and get it all figured out and get them on the show. They got some announcements they want to make apparently, so there's some big things coming out of that Cyber Pro. Good stuff. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, Colton. Thank you, Dread King. Thank you, Jeremiah. And anybody else. Oh, Rising Phoenix. Thank you, and Connor. Thank you so much for everybody joining us tonight. There's your shout out. Make sure to join us right here on Sunday for Rasslin Rage, right here on the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel. The letter R, the number 2, YouTube.com. We're out.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.